Hi guys, you're welcome to this lecture. In this module, I'm going to run you through the fundamentals of data analysis. Under this module, we have 4 subtopics: data profiling, data isolation, reordering data, and combining tables. So in this module, I'm going to be showing you the commands that we use for data analysis in ACL. Alright guys, so for data profiling, the two major commands that we use are classify and summarize commands, and these are the key differences between the two. So let's say, for example, you have your organization's payroll with you, and you need to visualize, or you want to know the total net pay that is going to each department. How do you go about it? So you have the payroll, and the payroll contains the payable amounts for each staff every month. And now you want to, from the data you have, you actually want to narrow it down to, okay, what is going to each department every month. So when you want to do that, then you begin to think of a command in ACL we call classify command or summarize command. So I'm going to really show you, the differences between these two in ACL environment. Then we have some other commands that we have for profiling is cross tabulate. Cross tabulate works just like your pivot table in Excel. So if you really want to do any pivot related task in ACL, then you'll be thinking about cross tabulate. Then we have the stratify and the age commands. So let's say, for example, you work in a bank, and you really want to know, okay, between a particular age range, how many customers do we have? Okay, let's say, for example, from age 1 to 30, how many customers do we have? The age command and the stratify command, they are capable of giving you such information. Or on your payroll, you really want to know, okay, for each staff within a particular age range, what is the total that the organization is liable to? So of course, when you want to carry out those tasks, then you have to make use of commands like stratify and age commands. Then talking about data isolation, there are several commands that we use to isolate data in ACL. We have the filter command, we have the export command, and we have the extract command. These commands are used to create a subset of data. So let's say, for example, you have all the transactions for your organization in a month, and you want to be able to narrow it down some type of transactions. Okay, let's say transactions that were done online, or transactions that were paid by check, things like that. So how do you work with those type of transactions? How do you do those type of analysis? So commands like filter, export, and extract commands, they are very, very useful in helping you to achieve that. You can also use it to avoid irrelevant data that is not relevant to your analysis. I'm going to show you how we use all these commands in ACL. So on data reordering, probably you have your data and you need to sort your data. You want to arrange it in descending or ascending order. We have some commands that can quickly, that you can use in ACL to achieve that quickly. Talk about the quick sort command and the sort command. Alright guys, so there are some very key commands that we also use in data analysis in ACL, to combine data. These commands are very, very key, and I want to really assure you that if you can master them very well, then you'll be a very good data analyst. So talk about the extract command and the join command. So what is extract command used for? Just like we have said, is used to combine data. So let's take, for example, you have transaction for January, on a worksheet. You have transactions for February on a worksheet, on another worksheet. Then the transactions for March, they are also on another Excel worksheet, and you need to combine them together, for you to be able to carry out a comprehensive analysis. How do you go about that? That's when you'll be thinking of extract command. Extract command is capable of helping you, to combine all this data together so that you just have it in one table. So then the join command is a very, very key command, in ACL. It's just like your VLOOKUP in Excel. It performs the same function like your VLOOKUP in Excel. So, and there are some very, very key fundamentals, some things that you need to know about join, before you can use it. So I'm going to quickly, run you through, the fundamentals of join. Now, there are different types of join, and it's very, very essential that, you understand how each of them is used. So in order for you to understand it, I've actually created, a scenario. This is how it goes. So you have a payroll ledger, that contains informations of, what you're about to pay staff every month. Of course, payroll unit is a separate function from the HR unit. So the HR unit, they have the valid records of what each employee should be paid every month. So we are assuming that you have your employee records, from the HR department, and this payroll ledger, is from the guys in finance. So as an auditor, you really want to be sure that the information you have on this table, which finance wants to pay out, actually, agrees with what you have on the HR table, the HR employee records. So how do you go about that? So critically, when you look at this critically, payroll ledger, you discover that we have employee 01, 02, 03. Then you have something similar here as well, but on this table you discover that you don't have any employee called 002. So what is happening? These are some of the reasons why we use join. You want to be able to get information from one table and bring it into another table for comparisons. So I'm going to run you through different types of join. So the first one is the match primary records. So what match primary records does is that, this is our primary table and this is our secondary table. What that means is that it's going to join every record on this payroll ledger that matches with every record, on employee records. So what happens? 001 is here, 001 is here, 002 is here, 002 is not here, 003 is here, 003 is also here. So what that means is that by the time we join the two tables together, this is what we are going to have. So you see 001 1850 from the payroll ledger table, then you have 1850 from the employee master table. as well. Then you have 003 1000 on the payroll ledger, 003 1000, then 2000 on the employee records and 2000 on the employee records. So that's the way it works. So for the unmatched primary records, what this does is that it's going to look at the primary table, which is the payroll ledger, and bring out, you know, every record on this table that does not match with any record in, you know, the employee master table. So what we are saying in essence is that, you know, it will bring out, you know, the product or the output of this join, you know, when you are using unmatched primary records type of join, is that it will give you records in the primary table that you cannot find in the employee, you know, master table, and that record is 002, and that's the output that we have here. So we move to the third type of join, which is match and unmatched primary records. So in this scenario, what this is going to do is that it will return both match records and unmatched records in the primary table, you know, and give you the result like this. So what that means is that for every record that matches with any record in employee table, it will return it, and for every record in payroll ledger that does not match as well with any record in employee table, it will also return it. So that's why we have 002 here. You can see on the employee record side, you know, we have $0, meaning that there is no record, you know, like that on the secondary table. So we have matched primary records and unmatched, you know, secondary records. So what that is going to do is that, you know, it will join the two tables together, and it will return all the records on the primary table that matches with, you know, records on the secondary table, and also records on the secondary table, you know, that do not match with any record on the primary table. So when you look at these two staffs, 004 and 005, you know, they are not in primary table, and that is why, you know, there is no check amount for them, you know, but on the employee master table you have records for them. So lastly, we have another type of join called match primary records and unmatched primary and secondary records. So what that means is that for every match and unmatched secondary records, you know, or I mean for every match and unmatched primary records, ACL is going to return them, and also for every match and unmatched secondary records, ACL is going to return them, and the output is going to look like this. So if you look at the payroll table, the payroll ledger table, you can see that we see all the records there, 001, 002, 003, everything is here. So we have, you know, all the records returned, you know, from the secondary table except the 002, which is $0, and also, you know, for 004 and 005 that are in the secondary table, they are not in the primary table, is also returned, you know, in this table. So we have their check amount to be $00 since they are not in the payroll ledger table. All right guys, so this is the last type of join. We call it many to many match records. So, and this is how it looks like. You know, we are still using, you know, table, payroll ledger and employee records, but with different content this time around. So sometimes you just have, you know, multiple records on a primary table, and then on the secondary table also you have also multiple records for the same employee number. So how do we join? What kind of join are we going to use in this type of scenario? So that's when you'll be thinking of many to many match records. So what that is going to do is this. So you can see we just have employee number with 006 but with different check amount. So by the time it looks through the the employee records table, you have two guys there, which is $2,100 and $2,300. So when we want to bring or combine the two tables together, under many to many match records, you have many to many and you also have many to one. So for many to many, what this is going to do is that it will go there, match these two records that we have here. And for many to one, it's just going to match just one. So at the end of the day, this is how the output will be like. So you see that for many to many, you went there, pick the two records that we have on the secondary table, which is $2,100, repeated it twice. Then for this guy to $2,300, it repeated it twice. So we have it like that. But for many to one, all it just needs to do is to just pick one of them and return it. So you are not going to have $2,300 as part of the output. Thank you so much guys for your time in this section. I want to believe that you've been able to understand the fundamentals of data analysis. In the coming videos, I'm going to show you how these commands are used in ACL, and at the end of the day you'll be a very competent data analyst. Thank you so much for your time.